Today is a very significant day. The nation remembers the Kargil heroes, Kargil War 1999, and it is the 25th Kargil Vijay Divas, the day when young men of our country decided to protect our borders against the evil designs of Pakistan. Prime Minister Modi will be paying homage to the Kargil War heroes on Friday at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras, as Bharat prepares to celebrate these 24 years of glory, victory, but also the supreme sacrifice of our soldiers. Gaurav Sawant is on the ground in Kargil and brings you this special report.
The nation celebrates 25 years of India's spectacular victory over Pakistan in Kargil. Right behind me is the Operation Vijay War Memorial here in Dras. This is the Kargil War Memorial. The names of over 500 braves who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives, defeating the Pakistan army on these icy jagged peaks in the summer of 1999 are etched here in stone. But they remain etched in the hearts and minds of a very grateful nation. Because it was Pakistan's treachery that led to the Kargil War. The Indian Army undertook Operation Vijay on the 26th of May. The Indian Air Force undertook Operation Safed Sagar again on the 26th of May. But not many people know that on the 21st of May, you had a Canberra reconnaissance aircraft of the Indian Air Force that took off from the Agra Air Base. It silently flew over these heights, went all the way up to Batalik. So over Dras, Kargil, Batalik, and the state-of-the-art cameras at that time, of course, they took pictures of Pakistani infiltration and their deployment, including at Manto Dhalo, where the Pakistanis had a very big setup, logistics setup, a base of the Pakistani army inside Indian territory. Now, that aircraft was targeted by a surface-to-air missile fired by the Pakistanis. One engine caught fire, it was winged, but with the other engine, that aircraft managed to land at Srinagar. There was another aircraft that was on standby that took those images to Agra. They were processed, developed, and that gave the Army and the Air Force the first clear idea about the level of infiltration by the Pakistanis. But that was only a part of the story. On the 27th of May, a MiG-27 flown by Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa, that flamed out because they weren't used to flying in these high altitudes and firing in these altitudes. The engine flamed out, it didn't reignite. Nachiketa had to bail out. While he bailed out, Squad Leader Ajay Ahuja, who was flying a MiG-21 that time, he actually returned. His task was to fly back, cross Zojila and land in Srinagar. But that is the level of camaraderie in the Indian Armed Forces and the Indian Air Force that he actually made a loop and went back and flew low to see where Nachiketa was landing so that the rescue helicopter could be sent. But that is where the Pakistanis fired another surface-to-air missile and brought down that MiG-21. As Squad Leader Ajay Ahuja bailed out, he was coming down on his parachute. The Pakistanis opened fire and killed him in cold blood. We're told he was also tortured and injured. Ajay Ahuja was also tortured by the Pakistanis. Look at this wall, a concrete wall of rocks that's come up. It's about 20 feet in height and about 4 feet in its breadth. Why? Because this is an area from where, across the line of control, Pakistan can dominate this road. This is that national highway that goes from Dras to Kargil, then to Leh, to Siachen and to the eastern Ladakh sector. So this is a virtual lifeline, the jugular of the Indian Army, at least at that time. Now you have alternate roads, but that time this was the main road. At night, when we would cross from Kargil to Dras, we would switch off the headlight of our vehicles and drive in the dead of the night, absolutely making no sound. And this was very risky because on the one side is that Suru river that comes from there, the other, rivulet that comes from Dras. Very, very sensitive area. And imagine we were civilians. Military convoys would travel this way in the dead of the night. Of course, the army learnt its lessons. The Pakistanis were evicted in 1999 as part of Operation Vijay, but that wasn't all. The army then started effectively dominating this area. And how? So if the Pakistanis would fire here and try to disrupt this lifeline, the Indian army would retaliate, and with interest in another sector where Pakistan army was extremely vulnerable. They would fire one round, India would fire 10 rounds. And then this area became peaceful. One clear message from Kargil to 25 years of tackling Pakistan military jihad complex: you can only defeat a terror state when you give it back with interest and pain that military jihad complex in Pakistan suffers. With cameraman Kripal Singh at Kaksar in Ladakh, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.